Morning online. Good morning, Akshay, Rup Sarat, Sonu, Rahman. Okay, so did you tried CLI? Yesterday's practical. Not yet. Few people done. Done na? How about online? Vipa. ఎక్కడ on Windows. Ah, 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 ah. Yes, that's it. Where in your laptop, in Linux machine. AWS command not found. See, in your Windows, there are no prerequisites. Just open, download that AWS CLI.msi file or exe file, double click, install it. Close the command prompt and then reopen. If you don't close it, the backend, whatever the software that you install, that will not get identified. So what you need to do, close the command prompt and then reopen, it will work. Okay? Ah. Mm. Mm. Error. A syntax error. So when you're running a command on the CLI, so space issues will be there. So check the space issues and then check the correct, what do you call IDs, security group ID, subnet ID. If any of the one of the thing is mistake, EC2 instance will not get created. Check thoroughly. Okay, so online, those who have not done the practical sets, please take your time and then do it. Okay. And then today, as I promised, let's take something new service which was not discussed before, right? And that service name is AWS Transfer Family. What's that? AWS Transfer Family. So let me share my screen. Online, can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? AWS Transfer Family. So generally these services you don't really find in normal trainings, right? This transfer family is the new things. So as I know that in real time, this also now is being used a lot. For that reason, I thought to give you a little bit extra, right? So AWS Transfer Family, as the name clearly says, what is this about? Transferring the data. What is transfer mean? Data transfer. So the question is from where to where? So it is not within the AWS now. So I'll tell. Yeah, heard it for the first time, sir. Correct. So those who are real-time people also, right? So for them also, this is a little bit new. First, I'll give you the problem, then I'll give the solution for it. So the problem here is, let's say I have a customer somewhere in internet, somewhere he's working in some company. So we are all in boom company, two different companies, or the customer is somewhere outside. So we are inside the company. Obviously, you need to support your customer or not? You need to support your customer. And what customer said is, hey, I want to put some files in your S3 bucket. Or he don't know even S3 bucket. He said that I want to put some files in some folder in your company. Because he is our customer only. right? So whatever the data that he has, we need to handle it. Whatever data we have, we need to send it to him. How? Okay, now I'm directly asking the question. Customer is outside. He doesn't know AWS. He doesn't know nothing. He want to put some files in some folder. So folder meaning here in our AWS, which is the best one for that? S3. So we know that it is S3. For him, he doesn't know. It is folder only for him. Okay, so now customer need to put some files in S3. How? Tell me this. How? Customers needs to put some files in S3. Generally, you and me are there, yeah. You and me are there. And then I want to put some files in S3. How? Log into AWS. Who's AWS? Okay, I'm here. Person 1 and person 2 is there. Person 1 is customer, person 2 is a technical guy. Person 1 wants to put some files in S3 in person 2's bucket. How? Person 1 need to log into AWS, you are saying. Who's AWS? Person 1 AWS, person 2 AWS. Person 2 AWS. How he will log in? Creating a IAM user. Creating a IAM user and then give the permissions and then he log into that person 2 bucket. Fine. But customer doesn't know AWS. He doesn't have account. No. Customer says, and you are saying, hey, AWS, log into AWS. Customer says, what is AWS? I don't want to do all these things. Just give me server name and give me some folder. That's it. I will put some files in there. And this AWS, EDS, everything will not work for me. You understand the problem? You understand the problem? So this is customer. Happy customer. Customer is not always happy, that's for sure. So he's a customer. He's a customer. And we have our S3 bucket here. What bucket is this? S3 bucket. This is a S3 bucket. Okay. S3 bucket. So my question here is, this customer needs to put the files in S3. How? You understand the problem? So, and the customer doesn't know AWS, doesn't need AWS, doesn't require any IAM user, nothing. He want to put the files in S3. How is the question? How is the question? Understood the problem, Nana? So online, you understood? So here comes generally concept of FTP. What is that? Have you heard about FTP? File transfer protocol. If you want to securely transfer, then what is the protocol? SFTP. Secure file transfer protocol. FTP is there, SFTP is there. Which one is better? SFTP is better because it is secure. So generally, if you want to transfer the files in the network, you will use FTP or SFTP. So we'll use that FTP, SFTP concept, and then we'll try to do this here. So you need to do FTP to or SFTP to S3 bucket. But generally, S3 bucket is just normal bucket. Does it take FTP, SFTPs? It doesn't take. For that reason, transfer family will come into picture. Because in S3, without any proper IAM user access keys and secret keys, so you cannot use S3. Have you downloaded S3 browser yesterday? Huh? What is this? Huh? నేను సరదాకే right? So I told, write it in your book today. Download S3 browser. That is a task. Put the task. Download S3 browser and use it. So whenever I say something, you need to implement it because that is interconnected to the next things. Okay, so you have S3 browser also. There also, what you need to do, you need to have access keys and secret keys. IAM user need to be created. Access keys and secret keys will be created for IAM user only, no? So that access key, secret keys, you need to give to the customer. But the name of the customer will be in our IAM as IAM user. But I don't want that also. For that reason here, transfer family will come into picture. This transfer family is completely managed by AWS. Transfer family is completely managed by AWS. This transfer family supports FTP, SFTP, and FTPS. What are those? FTP, SFTP, FTPS. Sir, you change S from this side to that side. But actually, FTP is normal file transfer protocol. SFTP is securely file transfer protocol. FTPS is through SSL. Through HTTPS through SSL in transit. So FTP over SSL, we call it as FTPS. But which one is recommended here? Not recommended. Which one is commonly used? SFTP is the commonly used. So can you do SFTP, FTP, FTPS to your S3 bucket directly? No. Directly, you cannot do it. For that reason, we have transfer family in picture. So what we need to do is, AWS will help us to set up a transfer server. What is this here? To customer and to S3 bucket. So in between what we have? Transfer server. What is that? What is that? Transfer server is there. Where do you create this transfer server? In transfer family. Why it is called family? Because this transfer family contains FTP, SFTP, FTPS, and there is AAS2 recently launched. That is one of the protocol. So what is there in between here? Transfer server. What is this? Transfer server. Okay, this is called, this is a AWS transfer server. Good. This is a, once you create the AWS transfer server, AWS will give you the DNS name. Yes or no? Transfer server DNS name. DNS name is the nothing but name of the server. Yes or no? So this customer need to connect to whom? Transfer server. Customer need to connect to the transfer server with the DNS name. If you want to connect to EC2 instance, you have the IP address. No, you can connect to the EC2 instance either with IP address or with the host name, DNS name. So here also we have the DNS name of the transfer server. So slowly I'll write it here. So transfer family is a fully managed service for file transfer securely. What are the protocols that you support? It supports SFTP. FTP, SFTP, FTP, yes. FTPS meaning FTP over SSL. Okay, na? So data can be transferred in using this transfer family. What is our target? Where is our target? S3 bucket. What is our target here? Online S3 bucket. So transfer family will transfer the data in and out to S3 bucket or EFS. Which one? EFS. So transfer family can transfer the data to S3 bucket or it can be EFS also. So transfer family at the moment it supports two services. So data can be transferred in and out of S3 bucket and EFS. So based on the requirement, you can select either the target can be in S3 bucket or target can be EFS. You're getting it? Slowly I'm going. Online, you're getting in, Anna? Okay. So, so we have a customer, and then we have a AWS transfer server, and then we have the target S3 bucket. Okay, now let us try to connect all of them. Let's try to connect all of them. So obviously, this transfer server need to get connected to our S3 bucket or not? Otherwise, how? So the connection need to be established between these two. Okay. Now, customer need to contact to whom? Transfer server. Customer need to contact to transfer. How? How do he connect to the transfer server? So in order to using Puttia? No. So the thing is here, customers has one favorite tool all the time. And the tool name is what they will install this tool in their laptop. One small software. What is that? FileZilla. What is that? Agilla, FileZilla. Right? So what is this software? Everyone online? FileZilla, or you can go with the WinSCP. There are so many softwares available. Right? So now what do? We go with the FileZilla. So where he need to install FileZilla? In his laptop. Whose laptop? Customer's laptop. So he has his laptop. At least customer will not do this thing. He can know. If you say, hey, Babu, use AWS, he say, I don't know AWS. Use access key and secret key. I don't know access and secret key. So install FileZilla. I don't want to install file. Then if you want to sit quietly, then how work will happen, right? So obviously, so he need to install what? FileZilla. So this is laptop. Okay. So he installed FileZilla on his laptop. So how he need to connect to transfer server, no? So he need to have username and password or not? Otherwise, how does he connect? So if you want to connect any of the machine remotely or any of the server remotely, what you need to have? You need to have a host name, username, password. Yes or no? These things are very important. If you want to connect to EC2 instance also, you need to have IP address, username, password. So is it good to connect to the IP address? No, it should always be the DNS name. Because IP address might change, but DNS will not change. Understood? So here, what we do is, anyways, the DNS name is there. DNS name is there. So we need to create a user for the customer. We need to create the user for the customer. Where do we create the user? In transfer server. Where do we create? Transfer server. Here, we need to go and click. We need to create a add user. What is the username, for example? Tell me the username. Korea. Surya. Surya. Hey, so I'm okay, Surya. Right? So Afroz is saying, funny. Where is funny? $10 guy? No. Okay. Okay, so Surya. So assume Surya is our customer. Surya is our customer. So I have added a user called Surya. And we need to give the password, no? Remember, if you give the password, you and me @143, that password can be easily visible, or that password can be easily get stolen or can be hacked. Yes or no? Yes or no, everyone? It can be hacked. For that reason, I don't want to go with the password kind of things, but I want to go with the key. Key meaning here we have public key, private key. We will be generating our own keys now. For every user, we'll generate our own keys. Not access key and secret key. I'm not talking about that. So we will be generating our own keys from SSH, keygen. Right? But I'll use putty to generate the keys. Little bit differently. You have a command SSH keygen, key will be generated, public key, private keys. But I'll do little bit differently, right? An easy way of doing it. So what I do is, when I create a user called Surya, For that, we need to create the keys. There are two keys. What are those? Public key, private key. So now, transfer server will keep the public key. Transfer server will keep the public key. Private key, what is the extension of private key? Dot PPK. Remember PPK? So that PPK, I'll give it here to customer. If anyone has this key, then only he can log into the transfer server. Otherwise, no. If you know the password, anyone can log in, no? But key can be until he share the key, otherwise it will not get hacked. You understand slowly how I'm tightening the security. Whatever I'm teaching, any service, it follows the best practice. You cannot chumma go ahead and then do it. So whatever the practicals that you are doing till now, you can do the same way in your companies also when you join, because that is a best practice. That is how we should do. So I will not be teaching just like, okay, create it and then it's okay. No. Okay. So now you understood here. So I'm creating a user, add user called Surya, right? And then here we need to create the keys, public key, private key. So who has the public key? Transfer server will have the public key, and for customer has private key. And how do you generate the keys? Using PuttyGen. What is that? PuttyGen. Using PuttyGen, we'll generate the keys. Remember, we use PuttyGen and then say PPK. Okay, we'll do that later. But you understood? So now he will open FileZilla. Customer will open FileZilla, and he'll put the DNS name, and he'll put the username called Surya, and he will upload the PPK file. So what will happen then? So this guy will get connected to the transfer server. While connecting, FileZilla will ask, Babu, you want to connect with the SFTP, FTP, FTPS, which one? So SFTP will get this guy. Remember, whenever you are setting up the transfer server, transfer server, you can select only SFTP also, FTP also, all also. Transfer server will accept any kind of protocol. It is just matter of checkboxes. So which checkbox will select at the moment? SFTP will select. But if your transfer server has capacity to take SFTP, FTP, FTPS, yes to everything you can select while creating the transfer server, everything it will accept, right? But here we'll go with the SFTP. Is it clear? Online, you are with me? Okay. Now, customer, are we giving direct access to the bucket? Definitely. That's what I told you, best practice. You can simply those who doesn't know much about the AWS, what they do? Customer will say, hey, I want to put some files. What this guy will do, Current experience people or those who don't know AWS much, create IAM user, create a S3 bucket, add S3 full access to the IAM user and give the credentials to them, give the URL. Good. You see the difference? Technical guy, a rough guy, right? That's the difference. So here, okay, see here now. I'm not giving direct access to the S3 bucket, but indirectly this customer is putting my data through like this. So if the customer is putting the data here, should I give full access to customer S3 bucket full access? No, right? So we need to stick the permissions or not. So how do we do it? Using policies. Using policy. Remember, I gave you bucket policies there in S3 bucket. So there we'll put the policy. So what policy for customer? For that, I'll set up a bucket policy here. Bucket policy. I'm writing in the bucket policy to only list, bucket, get object, and put object. That's it. I don't want to give any other permissions for it. In order to put object, first we need to list the bucket or not? So I list the bucket and then he will put the object. And whatever the object that he has put, he need to list that objects. Only this. Permissions I'll give. So what I need to do, I need to generate a bucket policy, no? I need to write a policy and put it in the bucket policy and give restricted permissions to the customer. And now tell me, customer can only put his data here. He can only list bucket, get bucket only. I mean, list bucket, get object and put object. Nothing else he can do. So did I restrict the permissions here also? Can he calicify anywhere in our environment? He cannot do anything in our environment. See how I'm tightening the security. Okay. Now, who is putting the data to S3 bucket? Transfer server. Who is putting? Transfer server. By default, transfer server has access to S3 bucket. I told you two services will not to talk to each other. So, but transfer server need to put the data to S3 bucket. So how do you give permissions to transfer server to put to the S3? Super. Super. What is the concept? Roles. You understood when the roles will come into pictures? Huh? Remember when we talk about IAM in the starting days, I told you, Babu, roles will come later. Roles in action, we'll check it later, I said. So you might have thought, sir didn't told about the roles, how to create roles, how to attach the roles. When time comes, everything will come. So here, I need to create a role. And the question here is, I'll create a IAM role. What is the trusted entity here? Transfer server. Trusted entity is transfer. Because to whom you're attaching the role? Transfer server, no? Permission? S3 permissions. S3. So, and the role will be attached to the transfer server. There is a question. Delete object policy can be given to customer. If customer is Jan Jigir for you, anything is possible. You can give access to delete the bucket also. It is purely dependent upon the requirement. So if the customer says, I need full access, go give it, no problem, right? So is it clear, Nana? And this bucket should be private bucket or public bucket? Because the customer is in internet. So we need to go with the public bucket. See, remember, if the customer is outside, if it is within the AWS, always private. If you're going outside, then it will be public with restricted policy. Clear? Is it clear? Everyone? So now see this diagram for a minute or few seconds. And now I'll be asking you which one we need to create. Step by step, we need to create it. No. And you need to tell me the step, which one need to be created first and second and third. See it. Okay, now. So what is the first thing that we create? So first create a S3 public bucket. Number 2. Yeah. But S3 bucket we created, we need to type the security for the S3 bucket, no? So we need to create a policy. So after that, what I'm do? Attach a bucket policy. Very good. Okay. Next. Third one. Create a transfer server. Fourth. IAM role. Very good. So create a IAM role. Trusted entity is transfer server, and permissions are S3. Next, add user. Very good. So next is add user. So add user, attach role to the user. Okay. Next, generate public and private keys. Okay. Next, 7. That's it. Give private key to the customer. Customer opens which one? FileZilla and connect to transfer server with PPK. Simple, no? You only told all these things. Should we go and set up? Online cities, is this clear, Nana? What we gonna do? Super. So what is the first step? Create S3 bucket. So create bucket, call it as 9 a.m. transfer demo. Okay. Public, no? SLs enable, uncheck, check. Versioning, these are all, it's up to you. So I'm just going creating a bucket. Okay. So now what is the next step? Bucket policy we need to do. So for bucket policy, what we need to go? We need to go inside the bucket and go to permissions. Very good. And we have the bucket policy. Click on edit. Once you click on edit, and here we have policy examples and policy generator. Do you want to bang your heads to write a policy by yourself? So let's click on policy generator and generate a policy automatically. So click on policy generator. Okay. Which one I need to select? Super. Allow or deny? Allow. Principal, put star, because this policy can be for anyone. And which service? S3 service. Actions. So I told you what are the actions that we need to do? List bucket, get object, put object. So I have my 4 eyes. So I cannot see properly. You tell me where I need to select. So what is the first thing? List bucket. List bucket, get object, put object. So please help me. So D, not delete. Get is there, no? So we have get object, right? Get bucket. Okay. Get object is one. Next we have get is gone. Get is list is coming. So list bucket. So where is list bucket? Okay, list bucket. Okay. So 3 got selected. Now I cannot see you. Okay. So you understood? So do you have any question? Do you have any question? Why I selected only these 3? No, right? It is purely depend upon your requirement. Yes or no? Here I want to restrict the policy. For that reason, I'm listing the bucket, just putting the object and then getting the object. So if customer says, I want to do these things, can you go ahead and then add the actions accordingly? Perfect. So I selected 3 action. ARN. Which ARN? S3 bucket ARN. So go to the bucket and then select it. And then here, copy ARN. Go ahead and then put it here. Getting it? Now, what I do is here, I'll add some conditions to make it even more restricted. So customer will be somewhere in the internet or somewhere from his company. I want customer to access my transfer server sitting only from his company. Can I take his network and then add it here? IP address? Whatever it is. So I need a IP address. So my upload will happen only if you are into that network. Otherwise, no. If he's sitting in internet cafe and then upload, will it work? No. So he has to be in a private network. So for that, I can go fit here, add conditions. So here, add conditions. Condition is IP address. And here, source IP, I can put it. This is optional. So I'm just giving you options to even restrict it. So I need to give the IP address of whom? Customer. Now, who is customer in our scenario? Me only, correct? So I need to give the IP address of my own laptop because I will be installing FileZilla on my laptop only to show you the practicals. So now I'm the customer. So how to get the IP address? What is my IP? Put it simple. Go here. And do you see this here? And then put it here. Add condition. Okay. Add statement now. And generate policy. You understood how to do it? I'll put this policy in Google Classroom, but I don't want you to copy this policy. I want you to generate the policy like this. We'll get it. Click on generate policy. Policy got generated. Otherwise, you need to put flower bracket to colon, no ID, write all these things, not required. No. So copy. And where you need to paste? Permissions. And then bucket policy, paste it here. So you are giving access on to this bucket, but generally inside the buckets, we have subfolders also, no? So in order to give permissions to subfolders, is it better to put /*? Yes, no? Bucket /*. So the customer will have access inside the bucket, everything inside he will access. For that reason, here I'll add one more thing. Okay, yeah. So I'll take this ARN again. Simply, I'll add /*. So you understood what I did? So I'm giving permissions inside the bucket also. Subfolders. Understood? Okay. So now this policy is ready. So I'll copy this policy. So I'll put it in Notepad so that I'll upload later in your Google Classroom. Okay. And then save changes. Understood now? If anything small mistake happen, customer will cry. He will not be able to access the buckets. Okay, now on the bucket side, it's done. What's the next step? Create a transfer server. Yes or no? So let's go to transfer server, transfer family. Open it. So here, by the way, as I didn't say anything about the region, so obviously it is a regional. So maximum services are region only. Only few like IAM, CloudFront, right? S3 is not global anymore, right? Like this, only few picked up services only global. Okay, now should we go and create a server now? What server is this? Transfer server. So click on create transfer server. I told you, no, choose protocols. Either you can choose all the protocols so that your transfer server can accept any protocol. Which one we need to choose? SFTP. What are the protocols that we have? SFTP, FTP, FTPS, AS2. So here you have AS2. So either you can select all, right? So if you're selecting FTPS, I told you it is with the certificate, SSL certificate, HTTPS certificate. Where do you create HTTPS certificates? ASM. If you select this, ASM certificate should be here. Otherwise, no. So which one I'm going for? SFTP. So now click on next. Here, we need to create the user, no, generally. So that user can be a directory service. Remember directory service, domain users, Active Directory. Either you can have it or go with the customer entry or go with the service manage. Service manage meaning transfer server will manage the users. So we'll be creating the users in the transfer server only. But if you want in real time centrally, then go with the Active Directory concept. So now I'm going for here, service managed. Click on next. Okay. Endpoint type. It should be VPC hosted or public accessible. Public access because a customer is in public. But if your customer is within the network, your network, then go for the VPC hosted. Or your customer need no need to be a outside customer. It can be your inner customer also, no? Customer can be within your company also. It can be outside company also. So now go with the public. Let's say, for example, I'm Infosys company. So customer, boom, he has given the project to Infosys. So Infosys has boom project. Now boom company employees and Infosys, they both are together or not? So in that case, then go for the VPC hosted concept because they both are in the same network. So now I'm going for public accessible. So once you create transfer server, it will give the DNS name, no? So is a good DNS or nasty? Obviously nasty. But if you want to do the makeup, so here you can go for the Route 53 and do the makeup. Do you need makeup now? Not required. So select only none. Public accessible. Now click on next. I told you target are two. Either transfer server will put the data in S3 or remember that. That is a certification question. So transfer server will put the data either in S3 or EFS. Which one we are selecting here? S3 because that is the most common storage service that people uses. Go for S3. Now click on next. And it is asking for the logging purpose. So for logs, so whether your customer is able to access the bucket or not, he can put the data or not. So how do you know? Using logs only, no? So where do you generally store all your centralized logs? CloudWatch log. CloudWatch logs. Which one? CloudWatch logs. So for that, it is creating a new log group automatically for you. But if you have any group, select it. But I'm going and creating a new group. And then here you can ignore this concept. What is this? Managed workflow. What is that? Managed workflow. Workflow meaning steps. Example. Your customer has uploaded some data. How? And you have to get to know. You should know that he has uploaded the data or not. How? Notification. Whenever the customer has uploaded the data to transfer server, automatically you can create a workflow here. You can create a workflow here so that you will get a notification. select target as SNS, and then you will get the note. You will say, hey, customer has uploaded a new file. So if you need any kind of additional things, then go for your managed workflows. Otherwise, not required. So cryptographic algorithm, this is for your security purpose. Automatically security is handled by AWS. As I said, transfer server is completely managed by AWS. So security is also managed by AWS. So this server host key, we'll talk about it as it is completely optional. I'll give you another method how to do it. Tags are fine. Directories are fine. Rest, everything is fine. So do I need to do anything here in this page? Actually, I don't need to do anything. So click on here, next, and then create server. Do you all understood how to create a server? Transfer server? What is the next step now? Create a user, or first we'll create a role. We'll create a role because we need to add the role to the user. For that reason, we need to first create a role. So let's try to create a role. Meanwhile, this is coming. The state should be available or in. So let's wait. It is starting. So meanwhile, let's go and create a role. So role, create role, AWS service. And what is the trusted entity? So I need to select here, transfer server. What kind of permissions that you need to give? S3 full access. So either you can restrict the policy here also, because that is within the transfer server and S3 bucket. It is inside. So for that reason, I'm giving the full access. Otherwise, you can restrict. You can restrict transfer server what to do on S3 bucket. You can also give list to, put to, get to, you can give all these things for it. But at the moment, I'm going for S3 full access. Role, I call it as 9 a.m. transfer role. Go ahead and create a role. So role got created. Refresh. So it is still starting. So let's wait until this is finished. And guys, I have seen this multiple times. When it is in starting state, and if you go and create an add user, sometimes it will not work. Right? So meanwhile, let it start. So by the way, meanwhile it is starting. What I need to do after that? We need to add user, no? Okay, adding user is fine. We'll add it. What is the next step? FileZilla. So we need to download FileZilla. As this is new machine here, should we go and download the FileZilla? Let's see. Download FileZilla for Windows. And you see? Download FileZilla, client Windows 64-bit x86, and go for it. What is it? So which one you need? Standard FTP or SFTP is there. We need this one, no? SFTP. So it works for S3 also. See how many are there? Yes. I think we'll go with this standard edition, FileZilla. So I'm going for this guy. So FileZilla is downloading and it's saying thank you. So you're most welcome. So open it. Say yes. I agree. See here. Many people, what they do? Next, finish it. Now next is not disabled. So accept or decline. See, because this is intelligent fellows, no? What this intelligent fellow is doing? Install new Opera 1 browser. So many people, he also know, we are all step masters. Next, finish it. So many people will accept and then next. So don't do it. So so what will this? It will install a new browser for you, which is not good. So next, click on next, and then next, and fine, and next, and then install. So start FileZilla. Okay, FileZilla is ready. installed. So now it is online. So you need to wait until it is online. What is the step now? Add user now. Either you click on add user or select this and click on add user. Click on add user. Username? Surya. Surya is the customer. Jyotika is fine. Okay. Role. He didn't understand. So role. So do you see here? What is the role we have created? 9 a.m. transfer role is there. As the trusted entity, you have selected transfer server. That is the reason why role is visible here. Otherwise, it will not be visible. Okay. Policy is fun. Home directory. What is your home directory? For Surya. Surya is the customer. No, Surya need to put his files in which directory? This is S3 bucket. This is a S3 bucket. So automatically inside S3 bucket, a folder, subfolder will be created with the name Surya. Now here we have SSH public key. So we need to generate the keys. I told you, Surya use transfer server will have the public key, customer will have the private key. So now we need to generate the keys or not? So to generate the keys, what is software that we use? PuttyGen. So open PuttyGen. Now generally we click on load, but here we need to generate the keys. Remember, see, if you click on generate, this will not work. You need to dance with your hands. With your hands, not with your. So take your mouse and cursor and write your partner name. If you stop, then it will not work again. Then it will generate. Now go and dance. Many times you'll generate the keys, right? So I'm closing it again. Again, see, open it, generate, and then write something here randomly. No need to write, just move the cursor. Keep on moving the cursor, then it will generate the key. So what is the key that it got generated? Public or private? Public key. So I need to copy this key, no? SSH. So you need to carefully copy this. If something goes wrong, then it is gone. Copy it and paste it here. Starting is SSH, last is 18. Yeah. And for the same key, we need to save private key. Save private key. Yes. And then call it as, give some name. Surya transfer.ppk. Okay. Do you understood how to generate the keys? Online? Is this clear? Instead of keygen? Is good, no? So now you have the keys. Close this. This is of no use now. But be careful. Now you have saved here. Click on now. Add. That's it. So now the user got added here. So user got added. This is a home directory. This is a role. We have the public key one here. And then server host key is there. So everything that we did it here. So go to server. Do you see the endpoint here? What endpoint is this? Transfer server endpoint, nasty URL. So that is a DNS name. That's a DNS name. So we know the username. What is the username? Surya. What is the password? PPK file. And we have the DNS name. Enough? Enough. Now, I need to give this detail to customer. So till now it is Riya sir. Now I am customer. So now I am Surya. Okay? Susawa? Surya. So now what I need to do, as I'm Surya, now I need to open the FileZilla. So in FileZilla, you have two parts. Left side, right side. So here the left side is, this guy is your own laptop details, your own local folders. Right side is the remote. That meaning you will be connecting to the remote server. So now you need to connect it or not. So I need to go here, File, Site Manager. Here I need to click on new site. And here, protocol, which one? SFTP host. What's the host? Host. DNS name. Copy this, put it. Port number 22. Go with the SSH port number. And here, logon type. Which one? Excellent. Which one? Key file. So anonymous is not good. Normal is not good. Password we don't have. Interactive is not there. Go with the key file. What is the user? Surya. And then key file, we need to browse and then go with the Surya. Okay. Now, if everything is good, then he will get connected. Many people, what they do is they click on OK and they will wait. Sir, not connected, not connected. Are you clicked on OK? Now you need to click on connect, not OK. Okay. So click on connect here. Save password, that's fine. So, okay. And do you see here on the top, the logs are coming connected. Huh? Now, do you see on the right side? 9 a.m. transfer demo Surya got created and we are inside the Surya. So now in my desktop, this is my local desktop. So add some files, for example, some qtest.txt example. Huh? Now we have some images. No? We'll take one image, drag, drop. Now I'm a customer. I don't know AWS. I don't know anything. What I did, I opened FileZilla. I put username, password in the domain DNS name. I started uploading it. Now where it is getting uploaded? S3. Now if I go to S3, I should see the image or not? Let's see. I go to S3, objects, and if I refresh, do you see? Surya and image. Understood? This is Pakka pure real-time project. This can be one of the project. Okay? Understood, Anna? How to set it up? Everyone? Clear? Online, is this clear, Anna? Everyone? So, to recap what we did, now you see this, easily you can understand it. So if the customer says that I want to do file, I want to transfer the files in your environment or in your somewhere in your company. So you can go with the transfer server concept. Do not create IAM user. Do not give any access key, secret keys, which will be very danger. So simply go with the concept of transfer server and role concept. And then like this, it will work. So from customer point of view, FileZilla he used. It can be WinSCP also. It can be so many other tools also will be there. It's up to him. What you need to provide to him is DNS name, username, key. Enough. Can I use the same transfer server to other customer also? Yes. I have added user Surya. Can you add one more user? Like this, you can add how many hours you want. And for different customers also, you can give different folders will be there. And if you want to restrict it in bucket policy, you can even more restrict it. You understand? Clear? Will you able to do these practicals? So for your safety purpose, I'm stopping it here. Okay, because yesterday also a lot of practicals we did, and you guys, few people are still pending. And today also we completed. And if I take another practicals, it will be overloaded for you. For that reason, I'm stopping the class here. Say thank you. Other cinema. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Adi, okay. So I'd like to be very funny. Okay. Don't take it seriously. Okay. Sir always asks, thank you. What is it? Okay. Will you able to do this practical? It is very easy. So what I do is I'll upload the policy in the Google Classroom, but don't use that policy. generate the policy by yourself, do it everything by yourself. By seeing this diagram, you see, someone asked, who here only offline, I saw so many architectural diagrams. Whatever I'm drawing, these are all architectural diagrams. But I am drawing so that you can easily understand. But if you go to internet and go for example, AWS transfer server architecture. Go to images. See. Huh? Do you see? Do you see this here? Like this, you have using AWS transfer family. Like, so, do you see this here? But we'll talk about all these things. But do you understand? This is architectural diagrams. But if you go and sit and make your eyes big and then aram se look it, you can understand. But for that, we need to complete few more services. But what I'm doing is till now, I'm making you in easiest diagram so that you can, by seeing this diagram, you should be able to understand everything. But no one will be like yes or no outside. They will just draw the diagrams and they will just give it. That is how it will be created. But now we need to understand the topic. We need to learn it. Then you can draw that kind of diagrams. Okay. Good. So once we are done with it, what we need to do? Cleanup is important, correct? So let's go ahead. So now can you add multiple users if required? Every user will have different keys. So go ahead and then you can stop it also. Delete it. So I'm deleting it. Remember, when you're transferring the data from here to here, don't transfer big GBs. Transfer on small zip, small JPG or small text file, empty files, right? So that you don't get charged. So whatever you see in your desktop, select and then upload. No, don't do that. Okay. So a role. Do you remember we did CRR? CRR, SRR in our CRR concept in S3 bucket. So I told you role will get created automatically, no? So see, this is the role that got created. So no need to delete the roles, but as I'm having so many batches, my roles will get overloaded. So that's why I'm deleting it. Anyways, IAM is free for you. So, and then go ahead and delete the bucket. Any questions meanwhile? Sure, Nilima, I'll check. Okay, so buckets are done. Do we have any EC2? EC2, we didn't work on EC2. Right? That's it. There's a question, sir. I got one doubt in SSCLI session. How can we differentiate the CLI if we have Lambda service already in which automation is possible? No, we cannot. So what he's asking is, sir, we are in CLI. How do we know another automation is in progress in the backend? We cannot, right? That's not possible. The only thing is, if you are a little bit more in, concerned, you need to find out how many Lambda functions are there, and that find Lambda functions or those Lambda functions are being scheduled or not. Where do you see the scheduling? Event bridge. Very good. In the event bridge. In event bridge, schedulings will be there, no? Rules will be there, no? So find out from the CLI, go and write a command to describe cloud, event bridge rules, and rules will be there. And there we have cron jobs, remember? Scheduling will be there, and that scheduling is getting affected for your automation or not. You need to check like this. But there is no other service at the moment to find out multiple things are running at the same time or not. We don't have it. Okay, Praveen. Any other questions, Nana? Take the screenshot. Did you like it? New service? Hmm? Tomorrow also I'll take new service. Okay, na? So tomorrow we'll talk about data sync. Which one? That is used for migration purpose. So we'll talk about the migration, data migrations also tomorrow. Don't miss the classes because it's very important. And by the way, today, so those, like some people were asking, sir, when is your new batch is starting? Right. Today, I'm starting a new batch in Amipet. You guys don't join. Okay. So if anyone is interested, your friends, some people are asking, please tell them so they can join and enjoy the classes. Okay. Hmm? Here also, first there, because I started here in KPHP, next will be there because in Amirpet people will feel bad. So there I'll go, next I'll come here again. Okay, so from here KPC also I'll start another new batch soon, but now at the moment is in Amirpet. So those who are online, so they can attend online. Okay, 5:30 p.m. p.m. 5:30 p.m. Okay, so uh, so guys, if you want to see, just go to Naresh IT here. Naresh IT course schedule is there, no? If you come down, you see AWS areas, they can register here. Okay. There is question. Sir, for switching job, my plan to keep AWS service and resume with Java experience. So can please tell me what type of service I need to keep? Actually, I worked as Java developer only. I don't have experience in it. My plan is to switch with new technologies. So whatever the services that we have learned, you put it. Don't worry. On the resume part, at the end of the course, I'll guide you on the resume. I'll give the roles and responsibility. What are the things that you have worked? So I'll give the roles and responsibility with the addition with the DevOps also. Right? So that will make you very good profile for you. I'll help you on that. Our mentors is also there, but I'll also give one sample model of resume so that you can use it. I have recommended my team members. Thank you, Prasad. Okay, good. So, yeah, fine. Any other questions now? Please share FileZilla download link. Did you ask anyone some to why you ask only FileZilla download link? Don't you know how to download? And you know other things to download. Huh? Like softwares, right? Sarath Kumar, go here, say download FileZilla for Windows. I thought to paste it, but I thought you guys are okay. This one. Okay. So click on it and it will give the dialog box. Go with the first one. Sir, even on Mac, we need to do the same thing. Unfortunately, I don't have Mac machine, but try it out. FileZilla can be installed or not because Macs has so much of restrictions, right? So no. So try it out whether you can download this FileZilla, right? Or else see whether WinSCP can be downloaded or anything related to it. Cool. So can you give me the final CC for today? CC with smile, please. So tomorrow also we'll go with another fantastic topic, which is data sync. Little bit because it is purely used in the real time. I don't think so. People in AWS courses, they don't talk about all these things like transfer server, data syncs and all. But we'll learn a lot of the things. Tomorrow, don't miss the class. We'll go with the data sync, data migration. Okay. Great. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next topic. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.